Mbali, welcome back to Freedom Fanatics.
Welcome back
Over
to
to
Freedom
you.
Fanatics. Thank you so much, Alex. Hi, guys. As Alex has said, welcome to the segment of Burning Questions. And guys, today, amazingly, the code card that we're actually talking about speaks a lot to the corruption and the incompetence that you guys were just speaking about. And this code card is from Mwele Mbeki, and it reads: the country has an increasingly corrupt, incompetent, and indifferent government that has run the state owned enterprises it inherited from the apartheid regime into the ground. What do you guys think about this code card? And as I've said, it speaks very well to what you guys were discussing just now.
Let me.
Alex,
I
you
think.
can go first.
Yeah, I think.
It's very depressing, I know. Hence, the
Yeah.
breathe in and out.
Man, it's too early in the year for this. No, I think it speaks very much to. In the first half of the show, we touched on policing, we touched on sporting codes, we touched on schools, it's just that general sort of culture of corruption. But I think, as we were saying earlier, I think the important thing to realize is that corruption is a symptom, not the cause. The cause is a government that is led by a socialist document drawn up in the 1960s, the National Democratic Revolution, and the various policies that go with it that allow for corruption to happen, and the destruction of institutions that actually can help keep politicians honest.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely do agree with that. Mr. Sholin, do you have anything to add before we go into the comment of the week?
I definitely agree with Mr. Mbeki. The more logical one and practical one, I think. And we definitely do have a corrupt and incompetent government. However, I also want to note that we have seen that does not necessarily need to be the case, because in places like Midvaal, in Gauteng, with the city of Cape Town, across South Africa, there are some municipalities where a practical, pragmatic way of doing things, of just giving basic services to people, whether it's water, electricity, and service delivery. These are basic things where in some governments in South Africa it's actually taking place. However, at national government, I think this quote is 100% on point and accurate. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. Okay, guys, let's move on to the comment of the week, which is a very passionate one, I must say. I love
Mbali,
it when
while you bring that up, can I just make one last point?
Yeah, you can.
Before this comment, it's just that I think it's important that we have people like Mwele Mbeki who aren't afraid to say it how it is. Call a spade a spade,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, Fam, I agree. Okay, guys, so this comment comes from a person called Graham, and it reads: this is common knowledge, and people will still support these criminals by voting them into power. This by law makes them an accessory to the ANC crimes against humanity. Only grave train riders will vote for them to keep their pockets lined. This guy is very passionate. Crime against humanity. Mr. Diego, I'll start with you. Do you think Graham's point is valid?
Yeah, let me seek clarity quickly first. Is this a comment to the card you put up the first time? Oh yeah, no. I think Graham is completely correct. I mean, since the dawn of democracy, we've seen public institutions and state-owned institutions like your PRASA, your ESCOM, and SAA being brought down to their knees by the ANC government, mainly due to the whole deployment policy thing of theirs. Deployment has caused many problems for us in state-owned entities by people who are not competent enough for positions are hired into those positions still because they are loyal members of the ANC. But I think Graham is very, very much correct. People keep on voting these people into power, and they continue to be corrupt. In fact, the more you vote them into power, the more corrupt they become.
Yeah.
So he's very much correct. Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. But if I can just give a challenging, I just want to be the devil's advocate for a minute
Let's
here.
go.
I am no fanboy of the ANC at all. But when he says that, that voters who are voting for the ANC are somehow accessories to the ANC's crimes against humanity,
Are they not?
This would be my challenge. I would be like, that would be simplifying the fact of the meaning that the ANC have for many of the older generation, because many of the older generation tend to see the ANC as this liberators from apartheid to democracy. Yeah. And therefore, I think I would actually challenge Graham and actually tell him, you know what, instead of necessarily being that these voters are accessories, because the majority of them still vote for the ANC, let's not forget. We shouldn't just be judging them and saying that, you guys are accessories and criminals or whatever the case may be, but actually challenge them and ask them, why are you still voting for the ANC when there are clear alternatives towards the ANC? Because, accusing people of being criminals is very a disengagement when we need to be keeping more people engaged. So instead of them voting for the ANC, you should be helping them to vote for an alternative opposition to the ANC. So I think that is a better solution than just accusing people of being criminals and accessories to crime.
Definitely, but I must say, I will judge them in 2022 if you still voting for ANC. I'm definitely judging you. Obviously you can be like, why are you voting for the ANC? They're gonna be like, yeah, it's my savior. Sir, it's 2022. Can we,
Okay.
But yeah, I think, guys, if there's anyone who wants to say last words, Alex, I'll give it to you. Oh, Mr. Tiejo.
Oh, well, no. I just wanted to respond to Shole. And of course, people who vote for the ANC do have their own personal reasons for voting for the ANC, but that does not stop them from becoming accessories or enablers of criminal activities of the ANC. I mean, you can have your personal reasons for voting a certain party in, and still be an enabler of corruption by through voting in a corrupt bunch of people to lead the government. Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I do think yes, they are accessories. They are enablers. Sorry.
Okay, let's all judge everyone who voted for the ANC. Okay, great.
No, Mbali, I think it's just my 2 cents. Yeah, I don't think I don't know about the crimes against humanity bit, and I don't know about this by law being, if you vote for a corrupt party that engages in criminal activities, it makes you an accessory to their shenanigans. But I think one thing we must bear in mind is that there's a large portion of the electorate that tie social grants to the ANC, and so when it comes to election time, the idea that you would lose that if, let's say, an opposition party comes into power, they're going to take away your social grant. That's a very powerful thing. But as Sharon says, there's historical roots. But I think the important thing, what I like about this comment, even though there's parts of it I disagree with, is that it brings it back to, if you want change, you have to go to the polls. You need to vote with your feet.
Absolutely.
Vote with your feet. Yes, definitely vote with your feet, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Freedom Fanatics. Catch us every Tuesday on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter and YouTube. Guys, remember, your freedom is worth fighting for.